Hello guys, girls, and whoever else is here. Welcome back to PennySpeaks, the show about ghosting your friends and it actually being kind of a good thing. I'll get straight into it and clarify what I mean by that, because you do see a lot of like, ghost them, winter arc, work on yourself babes, things on TikTok. And to start off with the positives, I think the fundamentals of that idea are pretty good, like prioritizing yourself, removing yourself from distractions and taking control of your own life. That's pretty good. We all know the distractions and stress that phones and social media can cause, right? It's hardly, it's hardly subversive now to be like, oh, social media is bad. We all know that. But in case you haven't heard it before, social media is bad. Especially for your brain, for many reasons, but mainly because it really alters your dopamine receptors, which for someone with ADHD like me, is absolute hell. So removing it and focusing on yourself is great. This is progress and sort of the opposite of what I was railing against in the Rock Girl video. But, big but here, I've developed a hesitance with this movement, which I think comes from mainly how incredibly individualistic it is. Some of the things I see under this movement seem like borderline narcissistic and at minimum very, very cold. Removing empathy and sympathy so no one can hurt you and you can like move forward constantly. Sure, that's a way you can live life and it works because, the constant ups and downs and metaphorical shoulder checks that life will throw at you can be shrugged to the side because, you're the main character and what doesn't serve you shouldn't be in your life. Again, big but, where does the responsibility come in with that? You can be cold in your drive and charge towards your goals, but I believe that while that may feel like storming towards them, I found that mindset causes more problems than it solves. It's much easier to drive forward than look at like where you are at. And I don't mean that in terms of success, because you're probably very aware of where you're at in terms of success. I mean pride. Shutting the world out and what you believe doesn't serve you is stagnant. It's inherently stagnant because from what I've found, all growth comes from the things that you least want to face. And whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, work, the gym, projects, they can all act the same way. They can act as a positive distraction from what may be truly fueling you. The drive to work hard, get something done, and prove the people that I have in the back of my head wrong is a mode that I get sucked into a lot. It's a common joke for the people who know me in real life to be like, you struggle to relax, lol. And, I can build pride off of that. I can be like, wow, people think I work hard. I'm doing good. I'm working towards my goals. But I want to go back a second to when I said the prove the people I have in the back of my head wrong. That, ladies and gentlemen, sisters and misters, is a bruised ego. It's a damaged spirit. And it's a mode I and many, I think, exist in. Slight sidetrack, but I think this is why Worldwide Steppers really hits me on Mr. Morale. I love that album so much, but I think we all have these complexes, and we try to do our best to skirt around them, whether it's with workout routines, alcohol, our jobs, kids. More obvious traumas and their effects are quite easy to... They're not easy to see, but they're easier to see. To keep on Mr. Morale, I mean stuff like what's brought up on Father Time, have effects which are much more recognizable, also because those issues are more common. But it's the smaller, like, digs and patterns and generational methods of communication that can really manifest below the surface until they become so obvious it affects all of those around you, at which point it might feel like it's too late. Moments of hurt pride that revealed themselves in relationships 10 years later, lashing out and slowly realizing why it bothered you so much, chasing validation in different friend groups or spaces, feeling like you have to justify your own existence and disrespecting yourself in the process. Stuff like that happens constantly. There isn't any shame in it. It's by no means rare, and I think the taboo-ness of these kinds of things is generally counterintuitive to our quality of life. If we had this conversation more openly, we all might be a little happier. Just to clarify, I work on myself. I mean, God, I'm trans. Every day is about manifestation, pushing myself forward. I'm not railing against traditional measures of improvement. I love hitting a new PB. I love my skincare routine so much. I love skincare. And that's very like surface level beauty routine sort of stuff. I don't want my sentiment to be mistaken. Surface level improvement is really good. I'm not saying you have to go full young and pick your internal self apart piece by piece on a mountain somewhere. I'm simply saying stop avoiding it. Whatever you're avoiding, for me, that's been a few things over the years. Obviously, my transness was a big one, but there are much smaller things which are much more personal. I could give an example, but if I'm honest, I don't want to. It's easy to say that we should have more openness, but it's another to be actually open, so sorry. To distract from me, I could very easily rant about how materialism and social media promotes all of this and keeps us distracted, but one, I think most of us know that, and two, I think it's futile. The collective conscious is much more powerful than one person deleting Instagram. You know, just because someone did a dopamine fast doesn't mean they inherently have authority on the social pressures and subsequent methods of coping with our modern world. They didn't view an Instagram reel for a week and all of a sudden they know exactly what's wrong with your life and they can diagnose it. I think this is where truly prioritizing yourself comes into play. Counting yourself out from the spectacle of it all, having the confidence to exist honestly, but the humility to also strip it all back. I think that's kind of what I'm chasing. So yeah, focus on you. But like actually though, take yourself to task. For me, that hasn't been staring at the void. I'm not that brave or reflective. But through others, art, writing, I can slowly learn about myself a little more, which is kind of ironic, isn't it? My name has been Penny. Call me back. Pull over if you get tired, and count me out.